Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam rasulillah, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My brothers and sisters, for many people, marriage feels like a very, very difficult task. Responsibility, it's overwhelming, it's stressful, full of conflict. Why would I even want to get married? It's just too much. It limits my freedom. I can't be free anymore. I'm done. Like my life is over, people say, right? And you got to get ready, you got to perform this, you got to get that. It's just a burden than a relief. Many people now are thinking that way. They think of marriage as like endless arguments. Why? Because they see people doing that, nagging, moaning, instead of the truly blissful thing, the blessings that it should be. Again, why? Because there's just so much negativity around there. People put their negative stories all over social media. Indeed, a lot of relations do not work out, and people feel like, wow, do I really want to get stuck? All right. Well, here's the thing. Marriage isn't like that, and you don't have to feel like that. Now, look, nothing is perfect in this life, of course, 100%. And yes, there is a high chance that things might not work out. Always these things have to happen, but you got to have the right mindset when you go. You cannot be afraid of marriage because you're never going to know until you try. As they say, a parachute never opens until you jump out of the airplane. So, look, we don't know. We need to try. We don't know when's the perfect time. We don't know anything if it's perfect in life except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But you have to understand, this is the qadr of Allah. Whatever Allah has written for you, you're going to fulfill it. And you have to try to do your best. And yet, there's so many people who don't understand qadr. They think that they're in control and they delay marriage for reasons such as money and enjoying life and first making sure that they experience the world out there and whatnot. And while some things need to be, of course, achieved before marriage so you qualify, and of course it works different for brothers and sisters, but are these really good excuses to delay? Oh, I want to get my PhD, I want to get my master's, I want to get this and this and this done before I get married, especially sisters these days, right? Brothers, look, because you're the qawam, you have to have certain qualifications, certain experiences to make sure you can run a family. But I find is that in the sisters, even more, they find so many excuses to delay their marriage. And literally, for both brothers and sisters, this can be a destruction. So, well, look, what if marriage would actually help you in some of these things as opposed to holding you back? You see, marriage complements your life. Marriage will help you to focus. It will help you in those places that you know you're complaining right now. And a lot of it has to do with, for example, intimacy. With the fitna, with you not being able to focus. You wish you would only have this and this would be allowed, but you don't want to commit. The Prophet ﷺ himself in Sunnah ibn Majah described, they said that a believer has never been given anything better than a righteous spouse. Okay, that this dunya is the best when you have a good woman, a righteous woman. So, look, marriage isn't a limitation, inshallah, if you think properly and you're doing things correctly. It's an actual upgrade. It will help you, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. But if you do it wrong and you marry the wrong person, yes, it will be not just a limitation, it can be a destruction. So, don't see marriage as an interruption, as a hurdle. See it as something that brings you izzah, enriches you, gives you better, inshallah. More barakah. Imagine that the Prophet ﷺ told us that there'll be barakah that comes from it. Alhamdulillah. Don't you want barakah? You think you can just do it with your hands? No, there'll be barakah, inshallah. So, you get to learn more about each other. You get to do things together. You go through rules together. You support each other. You help each other to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You pray together. You encourage each other to be on the straight path. You have intimacy. You can talk to each other and get advice from each other, inshallah. You do things for the sake of Allah together, right? So it is such a beautiful part of being a human being. Marriage is something amazing, the connection between husband and a wife. So look, don't wait till the whistles and bells tell you're ready. There's no such thing. True readiness comes from actually taking action. And then tawakkal Allah. Aql wa tawakkal. Take the asbab, do what you gotta do, and then do your tawakkal upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look, If you're struggling to find someone to get married, someone who's genuine and firm in the deen in Islam, check out the link in the description of this video to learn about the marriage vetting blueprint, which will allow you, inshallah, to find a spouse who checks all the items and all the important boxes that you find that are important, that Islam tells you that are important to have a good life, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. For the sake of Allah, barakallahu fikum. Assalamu alaikum.